All right, welcome to Life Fit with DVD. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Today, I wanted to talk about how changing your perspective can change your life. And it took me a bit to kind of formulate, why I, wanted to go over this today. And I think the main reason is I talk a lot about shifting perspective on this channel, being able to shift your perspective to grow yourself, to be able to advance your vision that you want for yourself in this life. Be able to do the things that you want to do. See the world a different way, and by doing so, overcome challenges that you might be having. And there's so many good reasons to kind of be able to shift perspectives, yet I see it so often that we're often limited by certain limiting beliefs, a lack of perspective in certain things in our lives. um, this is often a story. It's something we tell ourselves that it can't be true. For example, well, if this was true, then I would see it on the news, or then I would see it more around me, right? There is something important about shifting perspective and being able to comprehend things that you can't see. And this exists outside of the external world, right? There's things that, we see in the external world that we might not understand what's happening, why it's happening. It doesn't make sense. You don't understand, like, what is going on at all. And this is completely normal, right? The world is chaotic right now. However, the reason why a lot of people cannot see what is actually going on is because of a lack of perspective, that they cannot fathom being true. They cannot have the open mindedness to actually be able to put themselves in a situation that you know they wouldn't make certain choices, right? But they also can't understand how would another person would be able to make those choices, right? So it's almost a failure of imagination to be able to not be able to shift your perspective. And there's all sorts of reasons why we have a failure of imagination in today's society. You could argue that that gets taken out of us in our schools. That we're not allowed to play anymore. We don't have time to play. We don't have free time to do anything because the costs of maintenance of our lives. Just trying to work to make a living. It's too time consuming, right? It's too attention consuming, and at the end of the day, you know, we don't have a whole lot of energy to play, to do something where we get out of our body, or maybe maybe we get out of our minds and into our bodies, right? Because that's what play is really about. Getting out and just being instead of thinking, and strategizing, and just doing and being busy without an actual reason, right? When we play, we're in a different state of mind. We have a different perspective. We might not have any perspective, but that allows us to explore. It allows us to be childlike again, and that can activate that ability to imagine and change perspectives, right? And once again, this has this ability to shift perspectives. Imagination has been taken out of us in so many different ways. Our schools, like I just mentioned, it's in society. We the standard thing that most people do when they're tired is they want to zone out. They don't want to think about anything, so they turn on the TV and they put on something to entertain themselves, right? To entertain their mind, to capture their mind. That's what entertainment is about. And when we just sit ourselves down and put something on to just distract ourselves from our problems and the things that we're thinking about, that can be beneficial, sure, to unwind. But at the same time, what I prefer personally and what I would recommend to others is to actually try to play something. Maybe that's playing a video game, right? I find that a much more productive activity than watching TV, simply just because you're actively engaging your mind, typically in a video game, over just vegging out and not kind of thinking about what's going on in the story, or what, critically thinking about what is happening on the news, right? A lot of people have just grown into this rhythm of just being spoon-fed, entertainment, right? Not actually thinking about it, not playing with it, not exploring that idea or shifting their perspective around it of, if I was in this situation, what would I do, right? And because we have been untrained in exploring different perspectives and imaginations, we've lost it, right? If you don't lose it, you lose it. That's what I say about almost all things in life. If you don't practice what you preach, if you don't go out and you put in work, and you don't enjoy that work, you're just going to not, you're going to lose any semblance of ability that you had in that area. That goes for your body, your mind, your emotions, right? If you don't practice these things, you're never going to be able to improve or expand yourself and learn more, right? And be able to change. So shifting perspectives is a bit of a skill, right? It might not come naturally to a lot of people, especially when we are in the same patterns on a day-to-day basis, right? And like I said, we're just worried and concerned, right? I mean, that's a whole other thing, right? There's a fear of not getting things done for the day, the maintenance, right? Taking care of everything that needs to be taken care of. Existential fears, right? We're so captured by our fear and the anxiety and the nervousness and the tension that comes with all of that and fills our body, that when it comes down to it, we're so tired and we don't even want to play, right? But the playing will give you energy, right? If you do play, if you do something you enjoy doing, right? That gives you intrinsic value, right? That motivation comes from within you, from inside you. You genuinely enjoy doing it, not because somebody else told you to, or somebody put it on in front of your mind, in front of your eyeballs. You sought it out because you wanted to explore, you wanted to build, you wanted to create or do something. Do something that you alone wanted to do. That is good. That is play, and that can be work at the same time. But in terms of perspectives, right? What I do is I explore perspectives. I explore, ideas, see if they work, right? I go through the logic of, like, could this possibly work? What are the incentives of this person? If I put myself in their shoes, what do you think? What do I think that they are prioritizing? Why do I think they're prioritizing it? What incentives might they be, facing that would fuel their decision making? And just being able to kind of ask yourself those sorts of questions, um, it can do wonders. One, for your imagination, um, but two, it can lead to better decisions, better informed decisions, better knowledge about the possibilities that are out there, as well as being able to put yourself in a different state of mind and a different perspective to overcome the things that you might be, struggling with, or having a hard time seeing the other perspective, and you don't understand, right? Maybe you're angry about, like, why do people not see this? Why don't they understand, right? Well, maybe there's something that you don't know, right? There's something else, a missing piece of the puzzle that you just don't have yet. And if you suspend the judgment, if you suspend, the emotions, the anger, the fear, all of that stuff that goes with it, you might be able to begin to entertain a new idea or a new perspective. And I think ultimately what this comes down to, this is what it's all about, right? Being able to explore new perspectives is, inevitable for any growth and any change in our life. And that can be either forced or, imagined, right? So if you're putting yourself, you're going through in your head a specific situation, you're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, or you're putting yourself in literally the shoes you want to be going into in the future, right? If you want something, how would that person need to act that you need to become to be that person, right? Shifting your perspective, asking that question, who do you need to become if you want to achieve these things, right? That's why shifting your perspective is so important and so critical, and being able to change and be dynamic and adapting to any sort of situation in your life, and just being ultimately a resilient person, right? And being able to conquer anything, no matter what comes at you. I said in a past video that, the world is not without suffering. The world is not without pain, but suffering is your choice, right? You can choose your pain. You can choose a lot of things in your life, but suffering is something that you're stuck in, maybe a perspective you're stuck in. But obviously, that can be a physical thing too. But if you change your perspective, right, in your mind, you might be able to unlock a solution, right? You might be able to problem solve your way out of that suffering if you change your perspective. So I hope this just highlights a few examples of why shifting your perspective can change your life. And I just, it's a lot of what I talk about on this channel, and I just kind of wanted to try to tie it all together of why it's such a big deal, why I talk about it so much, and just how it can change your life. So let me know, how you change your perspective. Do you find it an important thing to do, or do you kind of keep that at the forefront of your mind? Maybe it's not perspective, or it's just, your attitude, right? You just try to shift your attitude, towards things, and, maybe you just call it something differently. Let me know what works for you, and, what doesn't. So, if you enjoyed this video, like or subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And, until next time, I will talk to you later. Bye.